Okay, there are three types of transformation. So transformation is like the big word that covers all the changes. What it means is the line is changing. You have a graph. Oh, it moved. That's a transformation. Oh, it went like that. That's a transformation. Oh, the whole thing flipped the other way. That's a transformation. Transformation covers all of it, okay? So then you get into the details of three types of transformations, okay? I know it's like I'm doing sign language or something. Three types of transformations. The top section that you made a box around, those are translations, okay? Translation, the line or the graph moves either up or down or left or right, okay? That's it. Up, down, left, right. That's called a translation. Easy, right? The middle section is if you make the line get steeper or flatter, which you could also call less steep. Steeper, flatter. That is called a rotation. That's the second type of transformation. The last one is even more interesting. It's called the reflection. That is if the line flips completely over and starts going the other direction. Okay? And we're going to get into how that happens. Okay? So this whole paper full of all this information boils down to one main topic, and that is transformations. Okay? That main topic is divided into three subtopics. Translations, right? Rotations, and reflections. That's it. Now, there's a lot of nitty-gritty details to make all this happen, and the good news is you don't have to memorize it. It's on this paper. Okay? What I'm going to teach you is how to look at an equation and see what happened, what changed on it. You're going to know exactly where to go on this paper. It's going to tell you exactly what to do, and then you'll be done. You'll be able to graph the new line, or at least write down what change happened. Okay? So we're going to go to the paper now that you have, the worksheet that we're doing in class. And the first section, this is the way it gets officially explained to you, and that looks really confusing. Do you agree? It's like another language. It's the language of math, okay? We're not going to explain it that way today. We already tried once, and that was not working. We're going to skip this section as well. So you're going to go to the bottom of the page, to these graphs, okay? So the problem tells us, it says plot f of x equals x plus 1. Now you guys know what f of x means, right? What is it? F of x is just another way of saying y. So that's y equals x plus 1. And let's graph it. Y equals x plus 1. Where do I start on the y-axis? Positive 1. This is my y-intercept, also known as my b number. Okay, I go up 1 from the origin. That is my point. All right. The slope is here. It's invisible. Positive 1. So 1 up, 1 to the right. Because technically it's 1 over 1, right? We have to have a rise and a run number. This is my slope, up 1 over 1. So I just graphed pretty easily, and I think I'm pretty confident you guys could all do it as well. I graphed a line. Not a big deal. Okay. Now, this is where it gets weird and where people started getting confused. This looks strange. They're throwing in f of x, but there's stuff jumbled in with it. And they have g of x. Okay, so I'm going to start with explaining what g of x is. I know you probably know, but when you see it all jumbled with this stuff, it's a lot to consider. So, g of x is just another f of x. It's a different equation is all they're saying. This is one y equals equation, and here's a new one. Your calculator does not use f of x and g of x. Your calculator will use f1 of x and f2 of x, right? Whenever you go to your graph screen and you push tab to go to the new one, it just puts another number on the f of x. You with me? On paper, they don't usually do that. They just change the letter. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to clear up so it's not as confusing. Okay? But this is still confusing. This is what threw a lot of you guys off because you're like, wait a second. Why is there like a Y here and there's another Y jumbled inside of here? Okay, I need you guys to bear with me and kind of track with me because I'm going to start explaining it in a way that you haven't heard before. It's brand new and it's kind of weird. That's okay because it's not mathy. It's more down to earth. Okay, I want you from this point on to think of f of x as, let me use black because that's the black line. The black line is f of x equals x plus 1, right? I'm going to call this Frank's equation. F for Frank. I made it up, okay? Frank's equation is x plus 1. What is Frank's equation? It's x plus 1. What is Frank's equation? It's x plus 1. So from this point on, there's some dude named Frank, and he has an equation, and it's x plus 1. And I could ask you, what is Frank's line? This is Frank's line, okay? I wrote this in black, and this is the line in black, okay? Frank's equation, Frank's line. Now, bear with me. Don't stay focused for me. We're going to go to the weird part. This is what confused people. I'm going to put this in green. This says g of x equals, and then how in the world do you read that? Here's how I want you to think about it. This is George's equation. Okay? Some dude named George. And here's what you got to know about George's equation. George's equation is just like Frank's equation, except what's the only thing that's added in there? There is a plus 3, and where is it? Is it in parentheses or out of parentheses? That's all you got to know, and you can get this. Okay, so we're going to say it again. George's equation is just like Frank's equation, except it also has a plus 3 in parentheses. So we go to our chart. We look for adding and subtracting numbers. That's the top section. Adding and subtracting numbers. It was in parentheses. George's equation was a plus 3 in parentheses. George's equation goes 3 to the left. That's all. That's it. Okay, it was written kind of scary, but that's all it means. Okay, so I go back to this. George's equation is just like Frank's line, except I'm going to move it 3 to the left. How do you do it? 1 point at a time. Start at a point on Frank's line and count 3 to the left. That is a point on George's line. Start with another one, go 3 to the left. That's a new point on George's line. Another one, 3 to the left. There's another one, and here off the grid is another one. And now you have George's line. Another squeaky marker. You just translated f of x 3 units to the left. No big deal. Are you with me? Yeah. Okay. This does look strange. I've said from the beginning, when we started teaching function notation, I don't like function notation. It's annoying. Why do I think it's annoying? Because it looks hard even though it's not. So what you guys have to do for yourself is to learn to look at this hard-looking stuff and just know this is one guy's equation. The other guy's based on it, but there's one small change. You use your chart to find what the change does, and you make your new line. It's Frank's equation, move 3 to the left. We good? Let's start with another one. This guy, I don't know, maybe his name is Henry. Henry has his equation. Take a look at it. Henry's equation is just like whose equation? Frank's, not George. That's important. We're not looking at the green line. It's just like Frank's equation, the black line, except for what? And be more specific, is it in or outside of parentheses? Yeah, so Henry's equation is just like Frank's, except there is a minus 3 outside of parentheses. So we go to our paper, we find adding or subtracting a number, the same section. but this time it's outside of parentheses. It was a minus or a plus? I forgot. Okay, minus means it's going to go down. So it's going to go 3 down. So we start, which line? Green or black? Which one was Frank? We start on the black line. We go 3 down. How do we do it? 1 point at a time. Start with a point on Frank's line. 3 down. There you go, the point on Henry's line. Start at a point here. 3 down. Another one. Just pick enough where you can make your line and you're good to go. You just translated f of x 3 down to come up with h of x. You guys can all do that, right? Wasn't too bad. Very straightforward. Okay, I'm going to leave this here, but I'm going to move over to number 2. Okay, I'm going to keep the same colors the same. So the first equation will be black. The second equation will be green. Okay, we're looking at number 2. Somebody over here, tell me, what is Frank's equation for number 2? Negative x plus 1. That's Frank's equation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and graph Frank's equation. My b, my y-intercept, tells me to start here and go up 1. My invisible slope, negative 1 over 1. That means I'm going downhill, down 1, 1 to the right, down 1, 1 to the right, and so on and so on. Okay? Okay, so there's Frank's line graph. I want somebody on this side to tell me about George's line. George's line is just like Frank's, except for what? But where is it? Is it in or outside of parentheses? In parentheses. So, George's equation, his line, his graph, his function is just like Frank's, except there's a plus 1 in parentheses. So we're going to go to our chart. Adding and subtracting numbers, same section. In parentheses is the very top of that section. The plus 1 in parentheses does what? Tell me loud and proud. 1 to the left. The 1 in parentheses. It's just like Frank's line, except it's going to be 1 to the left. So, I start with a point on Frank's line. Go 1 to the left, 1 to the left, 1 to the left, 1 to the left. There you go. This is George's line. You just translated f of x, 1 to the left, and you came up with g of x. Does it make sense? Are we good? Give me a thumb up, sideways, or down. Down, you're lost. Up, oh, it finally makes sense. Sideways, I'm kind of starting to get it. Good. Good. Is it making more sense than it did the first time we talked about this? Okay, good. All right, I agree with you guys. I don't like the way the function stuff is written, but just think of it as 2 different people, and one little change is happening. Sometimes there'll be more than one change, but we'll get to that too. Okay, let's talk about Henry's equation this time. Henry's equation, I keep looking to make sure I don't go over my time. Okay, we got a little more time. If I go over 15 minutes, I have to edit the videos more. So. Okay, Henry's equation is just like Frank's equation, except for what? Somebody over here. Yeah, there's a minus 2. Where is it? Inside or outside parentheses?
Outside.
Okay, it's just like Frank's. Which one is Frank? The black one. It's just like this one, except for a minus 2 outside parentheses. So we go to the add or subtract a number. Outside parentheses, minus 2, it goes down 2. So we go back to our graph. We look at Frank's line. And Henry's line is going to start at Frank's line, and each one of them is going to go down 2. That's it. We now have Henry's line.